Good evening and welcome to another ChessMess. This time we are looking at the opposition. Now, you've probably seen this situation a few times in our previous videos, where the two kings are opposite each other with one space between them. If I've just moved into this position, then I am said to have the opposition. Well, what does this mean? This means that the other king has to move aside because he can't move to any of these three squares here. He either has to go backwards or go to the side, as we demonstrate here. Now I can just go past him. If the king wants to continue to try to block me, he can come back like this, but I can just regain the opposition with the one square between us, and my king can keep making progress. Now this is a useful technique if you need to get your king to the other side of the board. Let's keep going, and we'll just continue to demonstrate this. It's a useful technique to get to the other side of the board to help your pawn promote up the middle. The technique also works horizontally. So let's say we're in this position and it's white's turn. White has to move to the side or backwards. If he moves backwards, then the black king will just gain space easily, even easier than if he was to move to the side, but we'll demonstrate this anyway. The white king moves to the side. If I was to move here, the black king will just go past me. So my best bet's to go over to retreat, but try to slow the king down. And as you can see, I can't stop the king advancing. And this is what the opposition is all about. Okay, so now that we've talked about the opposition with one square between the kings, there's also a concept called the distant opposition. If we reset back to how we started here, there's one square between them. If we consider three squares between them, then the situation is the same. If I've just moved into the opposition with three squares between the kings, you'll see that I still have the opposition as we showed earlier. It just operates from a distance. So now it's black's turn. If he wants to advance, you'll see that now there's only a square between them again, and we're in the position that we started at, and white will be able to advance up the board. Now the key to this, let's stop here. The key to this is to maintain an odd number of squares between the two kings. So if we get right back as far away as we can from each other, count the squares: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The king whose turn it is to move will gain the opposition by making the number of squares between them odd. So there's 5 here. Now we'll see if we continue to advance. Black has to move aside. Okay, let's reset to being very far away from each other. What if I was to move diagonally like this? Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares between them, but he's also on the diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The black king has now gained the opposition. So this seems to have been a mistake by the white king. How about if I move to the side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The black king can gain the opposition again here. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So obviously, in this position, if I want to maintain my opposition, I've got to move directly forwards. And there's 3 squares between us, and 1 square between us. Now, I want to show you a little game. Now, the point of this game is to solidify in your mind the idea of the opposition and how it works. You can play this on a real board against yourself, or you can play it with a partner or a friend and work with each other to figure out how to achieve the objective. The objective for the white king is to reach either of these two squares, f8 or h8. The objective for the black king is to reach either f1 or h1. With perfect play, the person who moves first is going to win. However, if you're the defending king, you can have fun trying to draw the game or even win it if the other player makes a bad move. So, let's see how this works. Would you like to move the black king? Now, I count the squares between the two kings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because I know the opposition, I know that to defend, I need to maintain the opposition and get the odd number of squares between the two kings. So we know already that black has made a mistake. Now I maintain the opposition, keeping 3 squares between the two kings. And now there's 1 square. And now I can always block the black king and he can't make any progress. So as the defending king, I've managed to draw the game when black should have won it. He just can't make it past me now. Okay, so let's reset. So let's try again. If black were to make the correct first move, he would maintain an odd number of squares between the two kings. Here he's gone to a7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's correct. Black has got the opposition. If the white king was to go to a2, then black would simply go to a6, and now there's 3 squares between us, and he maintains the opposition. If white was to go to b2, similarly, black would come to b6, and again maintain 3 squares. So this isn't going to work for the white king. How about just going to the side? Well, in this case, the black king will go to b7 and maintain 5 squares between us. So maybe this is enough to draw. So let's just proceed and see if that is or is not the case. Soon we're going to run out of board here. And the black king has advanced. And let's see what the white king can do. Well, the black king has managed to maintain the opposition up to this point. Now the white king's got to step aside. Now the white king has horizontal opposition here, but the black king is going to use a technique called shouldering to get past, as we showed in the previous video, and there's nothing the white king can do to stop him now. He's going to get to f1 and win the game. One of these 2 squares was his objective. So there we are. If you practice this little game with your friend or with yourself on a board, or even on a computer, then you're going to improve your conception and understanding of the opposition greatly. So let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time at ChessMess.